Emily, as you think back to the fuel ethanol workshop last week in the Twin Cities, what were some of the big takeaways for you?
It was such an exciting meeting. I think there's so much energy in the industry right now. People are excited about what lies ahead, about the opportunities and the diversity of opportunities. The conversation really centers around our ability to compete in a low carbon economy. We as an industry are at the leading edge of a bioeconomy. We offer transformative solutions to leaders around the world. And that's really, I think, what the big theme of the conversation was throughout the conference hall.
There was legislation passed in the House that would create a permanent pathway for year-round E15. It also includes some grants to help with biofuels infrastructure. And I'm sure as you were talking about this momentum that seems to be very present right now, that's a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, we're thrilled that, so that's the Lower Food and Fuel Cost Act that just passed in the House. We were very excited as an industry because we've got some key elements in there that are important for expanding access to higher blends of biofuel, which of course are lower cost, lower carbon fuel options for consumers. And of course, what was good to see is you've got bipartisan support. So you had Republicans and Democrats voting for that bill. And a lot of the Republicans that supported it because of the provisions for biofuels. So very excited to see that kind of bipartisan support. And I think it's very top of mind. Gas prices continue to be so top of mind, and consumers that can access higher blends like E15, they continue to save up to 60 cents a gallon. It's so meaningful at this point in time. So important that this remains top of mind for our lawmakers in DC.
With your DC connections, what's your sense on what the Senate will do with that bill?
Actually, I was just having a breakfast with one of our Senate champions talking about that, and this individual's comment was, I think it really helps that it's already passed in one chamber. So the fact that we've got it, the House has passed this, and you saw both Republicans and Democrats supporting this. It wasn't strictly a party line vote. I think that gives a little bit of momentum. So it really comes down to kind of how many days left do they have to take action this year. But one thing that we've seen consistently with our champions, both in House and Senate, Republican and Democrat, is they understand the importance of infrastructure funding for higher blends and year-round access to E15, two components. So, our champions are very well versed in these topics. They understand what it means in terms of boosting the rural economy and also providing lower cost fuel choices for American drivers everywhere. So, we're excited. We've got a big fly-in this fall in September, Growth Energy, and this will be a big part of what we're talking to lawmakers about.
What are the thoughts of Growth Energy on President Biden's announcement about a fuel tax moratorium and taking that step to help ease fuel prices?
Our focus with the gas price conversation has been the role that biofuels can play. And so very important that this administration gave us the emergency waiver to extend E15 availability through the summer, because we can see at the pump today. We've seen it all through the spring, and we'll see it through the summer that consumers are, you look at the price tag of filling up with a 10% blend and a 15% blend, that's meaningful savings for consumers. So we're really focused on the role that biofuels can play and need to continue to play in extending our fuel supply and bringing down the overall price at the pump for consumers.
Emily, I've asked you before about the market potential that you see with aviation fuel, and I think maybe the last time we talked about that was Trade Talk, the NAFB convention last fall. So has that picture become any more clear since then as far as what that market might look like in 5 or 10 years?
Well, you're continuing to see a lot of enthusiasm for the opportunity for ethanol to play a role in decarbonizing emissions-heavy industries like aviation. Already, a group of Growth Energy members, including ADM and Marquis Energy, they've pledged to produce by 2025 20% of the administration's 3 billion gallon SAF goal for 2030. And so we know that this is something that's really, the administration is really excited about. We're not there yet. We need to have solid policy that shows there's long-term market potential growth there for us, so we can continue to have the confidence for the R&D needed to get there. So the conversation with the administration is, we can play a role in the hard to electrify and hard to decarbonize spaces, but we need some solid policy signals now that makes sure you fully account for our ability to reduce carbon. So we're eligible, and we need some incentives to be able to get there as well.